happy playoff day yet again going on for us in the NBA. As right now we've got the Knicks beating the Pistons. We won't go into too much of that because I know CJ will probably want to talk about it, and we're both going to be cheering. He's going to be celebrating, possibly. I'm just going to be like, hey, that was a great play. But on my screen right now, 104-101 with 4 minutes left. CJ, I know you're a lot ahead of me on that because where I live here in Harlan, Kentucky, the Appalachian internet is very slow. Or behind, we'll say that. But before we get into all of our topics today, I always like to, introduce myself and ask CJ how he's doing. Of course, my name is Michael. This is CJ. I say from Harlan to Harlem. That's where we're at here. It's fun to have the show with the NBA. But CJ, how are you doing today, sir?
Doing well, bro. Just watching the Knicks Pistons right now. It's a close game. Pistons cut it down to 2-point lead. Knicks got a 2-point lead right now. So 5 minutes left. We're gonna see which each team is made of. We're gonna find out here shortly. But so far, so good. The first week of the playoffs of the first round. A lot of exciting games, big performances.
Yes.
That we're gonna dive into. So it's been going well. I'd say out of a rating out of 10, probably say 8. Calm 8 out of 10.
Okay, for the association, the playoffs, or
just the first round, okay. The first week of the playoffs so far, I give it about 8 out of 10.
Okay, and we'll get into it more, but yeah, even some Twitter beef, I guess, if you will, or social media beef that's went on because of the playoffs with certain players. It's been entertaining for sure. Of course, talking about entertaining for me, at least this week, CJ. Not that I'm giving up on you or trading you off, but some of my buddies around here where I live are starting to get 2K now, and I'm getting really excited because that's the casual play that I'm better at. They look to me to score. I'm like, man, I can't wait to go back and play with CJ and like see everyone talking, doing the 2-3 or 1-2-2. So possibly by the end of this weekend, I may have a group of 5 here. Actually, one guy lives in Arizona, but he's from this area. He does serves in the Army or military. So, exciting. I'm trying to tell them, hey, like CJ says, this is what you should be doing. If this is your size, this is what you need to create. And they're like, why do you know so much on this? And man, CJ sent me all kinds of pictures. I've got this, okay? So I'm trying to get my brother that does Cats Chat with me. I'm trying to get him. He's our last 5. If he will get it, we're good. But I'm asking, well, who would you rather be, center or small forward? Because I got both. And that's the position we need. He goes, man, I don't know. I was like, I'm getting better with either. So center would probably be easier for you to transition into this because you ain't played 2K in a long time. So, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, I would say definitely start out at the 5 spot.
Okay.
You still got to be a dog. 1,000, 1,000,000% got to be a dog. Like it's the easier position to start, but you got to protect the paint and
right.
You got to be able to be disciplined, keep your hands up, box out.
Yep.
It's going to be like 2 people down there trying to get a rebound on you with the center that has a high rebound rating. So you just got to be in the right position. You really got to be a dog. Like, so, me personally, I would start out the center. That's how I started.
Okay.
But I mean, I've been playing in my career journey for 2K since 2K11. So
gotcha.
Since it started. So, I'm like, we're like almost 15 years in.
I tell you what's been so hard for me, and because one thing, guys, I know we're live right now talking with this, but I'm just straight up talking with CJ because one thing you were telling me is like, hey, you got to box out, and I'm like, man, I'm holding this button down, but I gotta. What I'm having a hard time realizing is I gotta let go of that R2 or L2 or whatever button to actually go on over to that guy. Like I'm old. I didn't have to use all like 6 fingers basically. And I'm trying to realize, hey, you got to let go of the turbo constantly or let off the L2 to get over to where you're going. So it's tough when you've been out of the game for a while to get back into what it's calling for. So we're getting there. Today in the rec, actually I had on one game, I had 20 points and 18 rebounds. So, I mean, with my center. So I'm getting there.
Yeah, that's definitely getting there. 20 and 18.
Yes. Well, I will say my other guys are not as ranked as high as I am. So I'm always like, hey, let me join your city and see how this goes. And hopefully we get your ranking. So it does help a little bit.
I mean, listen, you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. So.
Exactly. All right. So speaking of starting, I guess we need to start our show here and actually talk about the NBA and what's going on. Of course, we're going to get into the first round as we got here, but we'll go into more matchup. I want to ask you this before we go into any one individual. I know you're a Knicks fan. Obviously, you live in New York. You should be. Outside of the Knicks, because everyone's played 2 games right now. The Knicks are playing the 3rd game. What series has caught your eye the most?
Caught my eye the most. For me, it's the Pacers Bucks.
Okay.
But it's because of what we're not seeing defensively from the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I know the Pacers have a great offense, but I'm just looking at this, the Doc Rivers led team. Like, I don't want to bring it up, but it's there, and you're down 0-2. I know Dame just came back after missing a month. So that's real life. I'm not just going to sit here and act like that's not a factor, because it is. But I would have thought the way you've prepared, you would at least split the series. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
And I get that because, honestly, I'd say most of the year I said, the Bucks is one of my dark horses this year because they're going under the radar, blah, 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 with that whole 9 yards. But to be down 0-2 with full staff now, again, Dame's not been there or he's going to have some rust. We know that. So, I actually figured it would be at least split. But again, it's playoffs, home. You should win both of those. Now they got to come to your place, and that's where you got to take care of business. You just can't let Pacers take one. But mine has been – go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you're right.
So to me, the most entertaining one that I've been enjoying is, and I hate to say it because how much I don't like the Lakers, but the Lakers and the Timberwolves, what's going on there? You had Ant-Man go off the first game, and then now everyone's saying Luka needs help. It's so crazy to hear that because that's something we always hear. Like LeBron, Luka, they need help. And then, of course, Luka has a great game. That's what I've seen on a lot of social media. I even seen it on the ESPN ones. Like, they need to get Luka help. Like, this is crazy. He's carrying them on his back. Like, they have LeBron. Like, but anytime the Lakers lose or the biggest riding team, or whatever you want to call it, that is instantly what they go to is someone needs help. There's not enough star power. Sorry, LeBron's pretty starish there to me. But anyways, Luka does answer back, and it's 1-1 series there. We'll get into all that. I actually thought you would say the Lakers, but you made a great point with Pacers because I didn't think they'd be up 2-0 with this.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's go ahead and jump into the first one that we have here on our topics. I think we both might have mentioned this could be a sweep, maybe a 5-game, if anything. But let's go into the East on the 2 seed against the 7th seed. And, of course, that's the Celtics against the Magic. Celtics do lead series 2-0. What have you looked into this or take away from this series so far?
Yeah, right now, I'm just going to update that real fast. Looking at the series, Tatum missing game 2.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like, okay, that was an opportunity for Orlando to get the W, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Jaylen Brown, 35. Had a masterful performance in that game yesterday. Porzingis going out there getting hurt, getting that catch in the elbow.
Mm.
It's what we really talked about on Friday in regards to Orlando. They just don't have enough spacing in the point guard position. So they drafted 3 point guards in 5 years.
Okay.
Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black. Right. And Suggs was starting before he got hurt. Right. He was playing well. He was definitely en route to being like an all defensive team first guy this year, or at least second team. But Cole Anthony, Anthony Black, they haven't been able to. They have to step up. They have to play better. Now, you would hope at home in Orlando that happens. Usually the role players, the starters, guys coming off the bench, they play better. They're comfortable with the court. That's where they've been there 41 times, plus practicing and everything. You got the home crowd. I would expect Orlando to maybe get one, especially with, not necessarily knowing the timetable of Jason Tatum's return. Listen, is it he could definitely probably come back. But if you feel like you can win games without him and he could be able to stay healthy going into the next round, regardless of who they play.
Yep.
It's very important. It's very important. So for Jaylen Brown to step up, Finals MVP, what he did defensively against Luka Doncic in the Finals, that's why he won Finals MVP. People were confused. But, the people that were confused by him winning Finals MVP, there's no way they were watching the games.
Yeah.
Because, holding Luka to 29% from three in the NBA Finals. Low field goal percentage. He was getting his 29, 8, and 8, but it was on poor shooting numbers. Right. We'll take the low efficiency every time, and that's because of Jaylen Brown's athleticism, pushing the floor. He did a great job of that. Once he's knocking down his three, it's tough to stop him. And what he's able to do defensively as well. He's coming off an injury. He's not completely 100% either. Mm-hmm. But they got the guys to rally up. Porzingis, White. White is just his rise to the level he's at right now is really a great story. When he was with the Spurs, I didn't know what he was going to be. It's up to him. And we see right now he's creating his own story. But I didn't see this. I didn't see 40 points, 9 3-point makes in a game, and you got Brown and Tatum right there on each hash. So with the defense, the steals, the shot blocking at the guard spot, he's just a weapon. He's a weapon that I really feel like no one saw coming. If you saw the Celtics, we knew Brown and Tatum. Mm-hmm. They weren't. We know they were going to be there for the foreseeable future. But then for Derek White, they get that Derek White trade. That was just defense, a little bit of floor spacing. That's really what it was when they first got him. And then, now he's getting a $150 million extension. So they're just a dangerous team. It's tough to stop them. Their starting five can do everything. They can put the ball on the floor. They can play on the ball, off the ball. They pass, they cut, they play defense. And you add Horford and Pritchard in there, it's just like two more starters coming off your second unit. Mm-hmm. So just the high IQ is there. You can still play three starters with those two guys, and it's not even like there's a drop-off. They're just on another level right now. Them and the Cavs are the two best teams, bar none, in the East. Two top 5 teams in the world, based on how they play and what they've been able to do this year and over the last few years, honestly. So, Orlando, this game was close. I think they cut it to like 5 or 7. It was like 84-77 at one point, Celtics. And the Celtics started pulling away, knocking down shots, driving, getting to the paint, making that extra pass when they drew 2. They're just hitting their stride. They're hitting their stride, man. And for Tatum to be out and for them to still able to get this W, it just speaks to their depth. It speaks to how well coached they are, how well prepared they are. Because that's definitely could be, quote unquote trap game. You lose your top guy. You could come in there and lose one, but we're still good. Go on the road and get dubs. But let's lock in home court 2-0 and put the pressure back on them and see what they're able to do.
To me, I feel like this is just like you said, the word preparedness, if that's a word. The Celtics look like not just coaches but players are completely prepared for what's going on here. They already been here. They know what to expect when it's playoff time. Everyone knows their duties, and they're executing them to the top of their game right now. And like you said, the depth. But I feel like Orlando knows what to do, but they just haven't seen it done yet. And I feel like that's almost like, hey, this is going to be a learning experience for Orlando this year, and hopefully they can get 2 games. I don't think they win the series, obviously, but I just feel like Orlando's more of a, hey, we think we know what we're doing right, and okay, now we just got hit in the mouth by the Celtics. Now we got to learn from that, and almost learning on the fly compared to you got Celtics that's seasoned with all their veterans and already won the championships. Like, hey, this is what we expect. This is what's coming. We're already prepared. So I just feel like that's really the difference going on right now, and Orlando's really showing that they will be a contender in the near future. Like you said, the positions, there's just a void that they still need to fill and almost subtract at some of the positions that they have to try to fill in that void. Definitely a knockdown shooter is probably in their future for sure, someone that can spread the floor out a little bit more at the guard position for them. But sounds good to me.
Yeah, like I said, that point guard spot, and you also just alluded to it. I would say the shooting guards, and they just brought in KCP. He's a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
So I think ideally, best case scenario, if you're able to get Black and Suggs to be your backcourt along with Wagner and Banchero, and then you figure out the center spot, whether it's Pataze, whether it's Carter Jr., maybe you draft a guy, maybe potentially pick someone up in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
They're
very close.
They're close. Yeah, they're a backcourt away.
Yeah.
They're a backcourt away. And I mean, and that sounds simple, and it's not, because it's very difficult to find. It's difficult to find Drew Holiday and Derek White. Yeah, just doesn't. It's not on every team.
You might get one of them,
but I trust their development. I trust Orlando's development, what they've been able to do with the young guys that they've had, and I expect Black, and I think Suggs, if he gets healthy, I think they will ultimately be that backcourt for the foreseeable future for the Orlando Magic. And then once those guys are healthy, in complement with the forward duo, it's gonna be fun to watch. They're going to be dangerous, and then they'll be able to compete with the Boston. But I still believe they'll win one game. I think they get one game in Orlando, but we see a gentleman's sweep. I don't think it's going to be an automatic sweep.
I think so. Sorry if I look distracted there. I'm sure you've already seen the play, but Cade's drive right there and that spin and the dish there was pretty sweet. And I have it on mute over here on the side, and they just called a foul. I think it was on Hardaway Jr., but took Brunson a little while to get across half court, and he held up 8 fingers. I thought, oh, did they just call 8 seconds on him? But it was a foul. It's like, oh, okay. Whew, panic just a tad bit. I got 115, 110. I'm sure your game's probably already over, ain't it?
116, 110, 8.6 left. Knicks.
Okay. So they're wrapping this game up. We'll go ahead and jump over to that series if you want to. Of course, it is 1-1 with this game about wrapping up. Celtics, the 3 seed against the Pistons, the 6 seed in Detroit for this game, and I am 15 seconds left on this. So there's no need me even talking about this series because this is at home for you. What's your thoughts on this series so far?
Game 1 was interesting. The first 3 quarters was very competitive. It's going to be a competitive series because of what Detroit has become as this team, going from 14 to 44 wins, a plus 30 in a 12-month span as an organization in the NBA. That's impressive. That's special. And I know Kenny Atkinson is going to win Coach of the Year more than likely, but
has that been announced yet? Because I think I did see
what Udoka and JB Bickerstaff were able to do. With these 2 teams night and day, has been special. It has been special. So
I'm panicking a little bit over here watching this, but I know you've already seen what's going on. So
their vibe, their identity, the way they play, it starts with Cade. Their leader, young leader. He's going to knock down shots. He's going to continue to grow and get better. This is his debut in the playoffs. So this is great for him and his development as a young player. I believe future superstar in this league. Definitely a rising star, all-star already. He could bring free agents to the Pistons. I mean, you're a game changer if you're able to do that.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's game changing if you're able to bring high marquee free agents to the Detroit Pistons, and I believe he'll be able to do that because of his floor spacing, floor general 6'8", can see everything. So far in this series, man, I just think we have the better roster, but if we don't play like it, the Knicks could definitely lose. They definitely could lose the series. Right now, Brunson's about to be on the line. 3 seconds left. 3.5 seconds left. 116, 113.
Okay.
Game 2, I did not like the way Karl Anthony Towns played. This in Game 3, he stepped it up. He has 31, and 8. I mean, that should be every single night. Should be every single night. You're 6'11". You're a gifted front court player. you should be able. You average 24 in the regular season. You should be able to increase your points per game in the playoffs. That's what the legends do. That's what the great ones do. I expect him to continue to do that throughout this series. He needs to do that. There's not one front court player on the Pistons that should be able to guard Karl Anthony Towns. That's just a fact. When you look at skill for skill, talent for talent, Jalen Duren is a young player. He's going to grow. He's getting there. He's not there yet. He's still 22 years old. He has a lot of time. And for him to already be making an impact is great. But Karl Anthony Towns should dominate every single front court player they put out there. He does that, we win the series. OG Anunoby, I would also like him to get the ball a little bit earlier in the game and then let Brunson close the show. Thibodeau, just certain things with the lineups. You know, now he's starting to go with Towns and Mitchell Robinson and that 4 or 5 lineup. Finally, we saw the success that had in Minnesota when Towns was at the 4 spot and they had Gobert at the 5 spot. They went to the conference finals. Now, Mitchell Robinson is not Rudy Gobert. Mitchell Robinson needs to do a better job of boxing out. You know, I don't like the way that Paul Reed and these guys are able to easily get these offensive rebounds. He needs to box these guys out, get the rebound. You jump higher than everybody on the Pistons, except maybe Jalen Duren. You need to box out, get the rebound, get the ball to a guard, run the floor, run hard, run to the floor. You'll get the ball, have good hands, keep your hands ready. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. This should be simple. I shouldn't even be saying this. The players, I shouldn't even be saying this, bro. Yep. You know, but this is what I see out there when I watch the games. This is what I see. And, you know, for Towns to only have 10.6 rebounds in game 2. What? So sometimes he fades. He fades. But you gotta look at Tibbs. Tibbs needs to put him in a better spot to succeed. They did a really good job of that in game 3. But he also needs to just go get the ball and say, I want to take over. You're 6'11". Hey, I mean, it's like if you're that gifted at that height, you could easily just say, "Let me get the ball and let me dominate." Like, it's not that difficult.
And I'm gonna jump in on this at least, and for him too, because he is technically a 3-level scorer as a big. Because I mean, he can shoot the 3. He doesn't triple threat a lot out there, but I mean, he's got a mid-range with the back to the goal. So, like, really, he's a walking bucket if he wants to be.
Yeah, exactly, definitely. I mean, they're putting power forwards on him. But to me, that should be this. If you're him, you should be disrespected. You're putting the power forwards on me. What are you trying to say? Like, you can put a smaller guy on me and they could be able to guard me. That's how you should be able to look at that. And I think he's starting to figure this is a great start in game 3. We need it again in game 4, and as the series goes on, till we get the 4 wins. First team to 4 wins. That's what it's about. Definitely some things to clean up still, but ultimately, looks like here they're going to be up 2-1 in the series. You still have to make adjustments. You can't be complacent. They're going to definitely do the things necessary in game 4. But this is a great win, great bounce back win for the Knicks.
So my question for you, was that a backcourt violation or not? Oh, I don't know if you heard me. I asked you if it was a backcourt violation on Brunson or not.
I didn't even see it, bro.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see it. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
So I have to look at it. Okay. Like at the end of the game. But.
Well, it's very close because he was going away from the half court inbounds and was basically stepping over as he was catching the ball. So that's what they're upset about, and they've showed the replay 3 or 4 times here. So very, very close. But Brunson kind of took his hands off to let it bounce there. So could have been a totally different story. Wouldn't have had that free throw, and then of course they just hit that 3 to be down by 1. But now Brunson's shooting free throws here. Now they're up 2 on my end. Is it over on you?
Yeah, I believe so.
No, I mean,
still having discussions. The light went off.
Oh, okay. Oh, Brunson's shooting a free throw here. So so they make something here? Okay.
2-1. 2-1.
With some controversies.
Yeah, some controversy. Yeah, it's the playoffs. It's never going to be easy. But Towns stepped up, did exactly what he was supposed to do. Everybody wanted to see how he would play, and he played well. He played 31 points. That's what we expect. That's what we expect. This is how it should be going forward in the playoffs. You want to be a champion? That's how you have to play.
Okay, I'm watching this, and it's live to me, not to you, I'm sure, because it's already over. But the light went off when it was on the rim. It's not supposed to start until someone touches it, right?
When it comes off the rim, yeah, they're about to reset it.
Okay. What if they make something here? That would be crazy. But they should be up 2-1. The Knicks should be up. Okay.
See what's up.
So 2 controversies going on here. Brunson shoots a free throw, hits the rim, and buzzer goes off before they even touch it. But I will say, no one made a motion for a timeout.
Side out in front of their bench.
Okay, you got to break it down for me. Give me a play-by-play because I'm behind.
0.5 left. Side out in front of their bench. Out of bounds. Jalen Duren threw it out of bounds. Over the head of Cade Cunningham.
Oh,
Knicks get the ball back. 0.5 left. 118 and 116.
That is ball game. They're still setting the clock on my end. So, all right. So that's huge to get. It's very huge to get the win on the road. Of course, they let one slide on them, but basically now you even the series out again. So if you can win 2 here, that would be great. Or the second one at Detroit, but. I mean, it's a very close game, obviously, but what do you think Detroit's got to do to come back and win one at home here? They
need Schroeder, Malik Beasley, Tobias Harris, those other guys to really step up, have a really good game in this home game, in game 4.
And personally, it sounds like when you take Cat out of the game, you win the game. So, not that he's that guy, but I think when he does that production, you get everyone else doing their stuff too.
Exactly. When he's playing well, it just helps the entire team. Mm-hmm. There should be no reason why, with the talent that the Knicks have, they should only score 94 points in the game. It's unacceptable. Yep. All the moves that they made, all the contract signings that they've been able to do over the last few years, 94 points in a playoff game.
I will say, I thought that was a pretty interesting design inbounds play. It was just executed poorly. They were trying to get him on the curl to get it going towards the go on that. I thought that was actually pretty smart on there. So,
it's
mental note of that for every coach.
Tibbs put in Mitchell Robinson in front of there.
Yeah,
to kind of alter that pass a little bit and get some height.
Yeah,
it's all about adjustments. So it was a calm little counter there from Tibbs. We're just gonna get this basketball right here. Game over. 2-1. 2-1 it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be gritty. Mm-hmm. I said I really like this Piston team. They're here to stay. This is not a fluke season by any means.
Oh, definitely.
Anybody that's saying that as a casual, they should not be talking about the game of basketball. Like I said, they have a talented roster. They don't even have, I believe, their second best player, which is Jaden Ivey. And once he was really playing well, it was ascending. And so when he gets back and he gets healthy, they're going to be dangerous. They're going to be very dangerous. He's athletic. If he gets his floor spacing to an efficient level, it's over. Because he could go to the basket. His first step, him and Cade as a backcourt. Good luck. So this is just the beginning stages of this team, and they're still in it. They still have an opportunity to go and tie it up in a couple of days. We'll see if they're able to do that. But it's a great win by the Knicks. Mm-hmm. Towns did exactly what he was supposed to do. Everybody else stepped up, made timely stops. The one thing I like about the Knicks is they don't turn the ball over a lot. They're really safe and clean with the basketball. That's one thing I will give Tibbs. One of the things I'll give Tibbs credit for. His teams, his teams do a really good job of protecting the basketball. I respect that. You think about the amount of possessions in today's NBA, to only get 10, 11, 10 turnovers in a game is a luxury. So good win, and then we'll see what's going on for Game 4. 2 down.
Absolutely. I got to get my screens all back here because I've got a new game going on now. I'm watching the Grizzlies and Thunder. Let's see, bring this over here. Moving in to Game 4, of course, another one at Detroit. We'll see how they answer back. They fought well against the Knicks here, so I mean, we even mentioned. I think we said this one's going to be a battle for sure. It possibly could go 7 games. I think is what I said. I believe you said 6. But it's been a week talk, so who knows what we actually said from there. But let's go on down our list here for our next matchup. Let's go over to the West Coast or the Western Conference. They're 2 versus 7. Oh, I'm sorry. I lied. Let's stay East. I missed one here. We got the 4 and 5. We kind of talked about them a little bit, but we've got the Pacers and the Bucks. Indiana, we already talked about this a little bit, but they are up 2-0 in this series. Of course, Dame with his first game back since what? March, April, or February, somewhere around there? Okay.
Yeah, late March.
Okay, so he's been out for roughly 3 weeks, if you will. First game back, and they're still down 2-0 going to Milwaukee. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're going to Milwaukee.
Yep.
So, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, defensively, it's unacceptable from what I've seen from the Milwaukee Bucks. They're unable to get stops. So, I don't want to pile on Kuzma, man. He's getting a lot of hate right now, but he needs to play better. He's plain and simple. You're a champion.
Yep.
You're a champion. You want a championship with LeBron James, Anthony Davis. He made some big shots.
20 minutes with no points, no rebounds, no assists.
He needs to play better. He needs to play better. If they could get some production out of him on both ends of the court, that's just a plus. Mm-hmm. But they're not doing that. These Doc Rivers led teams. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It hasn't really worked. They have success, like they'll win, but it never meets the expectations it's supposed to meet based on the talent that he has. That's pretty much how you could describe it right there. Giannis averaging 35, 15, and 4. And they're down in the series 2 games.
It's crazy.
Listen, the Pacers, it's the Pacers, their ability, they know what the Bucks don't do well. And they just exploit it the whole game. Their pace, the way they're able to get up the floor, the transition defense from the Bucks is unacceptable. And you can't be a poor transition defensive team against the Pacers. Like it just doesn't even make any sense. Like you think about it logistically, like why would you ever be the team is called the Pacers.
Perfect name for them.
You can't be bad defensively in transition. It's unacceptable. So that's one of the main things I've seen. That's one of the things I've seen from them the last 2 years. From the Bucks that they really haven't been able to correct. You got Toppin flying out there, Halliburton. They just rated him the most overrated player. NBA players allegedly they did a poll and ranked him the most overrated player.
Like heavy favorite to him on that one too, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't see it as I don't think he's overrated. Averaging 20 and 11, went from going to the Kings to the Pacers. No one knew what he was going to be.
Yeah,
we all assumed he had an opportunity. This is going to be his team now, and he's shown why. He took the Pacers to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. I don't understand what makes him overrated. Into the All-Star game, what makes him overrated now? Is he a 27 point per game type guy? No. That's why you got Siakam. So what he necessarily might not do at the highest level, you bring other guys in that do that, and that's why they've been able to be successful. Mm-hmm. So I definitely don't think he's overrated. If they're able to defeat the Bucks in 2 years in a row, that had Dame and Giannis, How is that overrated? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. So defensively, I like what I've seen from Indiana, and then offensively, what they're able to bring to the table. They just have so many different players that do things well that you just have to account for them. McConnell, Nembhard is quality, high quality starter for them at that 2 spot. I think he complements Halliburton really well. I think, if Miles Turner is locked in, he could definitely continue to add them and make them even more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
He's spacing the floor, blocking shots, getting rebounds. If he's doing stuff like that, then it takes them to another level. I just don't see that enough from him. So I don't know. But nonetheless, up 2-0, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. And we'll see how the Bucks respond, man. I'm just not impressed with what I've seen these first 2 games.
I probably last year was more of the Doc Rivers downer. That whole season of firing someone when I think they were in second place, and then bring in Doc here, and then of course, I'm not going to do it. But you're making a great point that Doc Rivers seems to always not. I don't want to say produce. What am I trying to say here? He always basically he fails when it comes to playoffs. Let's just call it is what it is. And this Bucks team just seems to not have an identity, in my opinion, a winning identity. Let me change it that, because we know Giannis is doing his thing, and at all costs get Giannis the ball. Dame's there to score as well. But Kuzma, we talked about zero everything other than minutes, and he's getting the bad mouth for that. But, we're a few years out where PJ Tucker was doing that constantly, but he had a purpose of what he was doing. So what I'm kind of getting on that is Kuzma's identity isn't really known. Is he supposed to be an offensive threat for him? If so, you're failing at that. But if he's supposed to be the defensive guy, well, again, you're failing at that when they're scoring 120 points. Like, you've got to lock up somewhere. So that's just my kind of thing, is they don't know who their lock-in defensive guy is. They don't know who's their help guy to what they're supposed to do. I just feel like it's almost an organized chaos right now for them. We know Giannis is going to do Giannis things, but Kuzma not scoring anything. Lopez doing some things, but it's just Doc Rivers-esque of what's going on here until they have their guys step up as leaders, say, we don't care what goes on as far as the head coach. This is what we're doing to win. I think it's going to continue to be this. So that's just kind of, I hate it, because I've said that Doc is going to be, or not Doc, but the Bucks are going to be the dark horse that could possibly win. It's not looking that way. Now, again, I know a lot of times, and I'm falling into that right now, so I'm stopping myself. It's mini series. Home games, they're supposed to win. Away games, you're supposed to technically lose. You're just trying to steal one. So if they go back to the Bucks arena and they win 2 games, we're right back even. So I'm not going to get too bent out of shape yet. But when you're giving up those many points to the Pacers and not scoring that many, 98 to 117, it's not too bad. But then you come back to when you're supposed to make corrections and you give up 123 points then. So, like, I'm going to, just for discussion, if the Pacers were to actually sweep the Bucks here, which is not out of the question, they're up 2-0. I don't think it happens, but does Giannis ask for a trade one out of there?
A sweep? Yeah. Everything's on the table. They get swept. Everything is on the table.
Doc's fired the next day.
If you get swept and Dame plays 3 games out of those 4 games, yeah.
Then Dame will come to Miami. That's when it's going to happen. We're just, 3 years ahead of schedule, what we was hoping.
I don't see that happen. I do believe they'll win Game 3. I think they will win Game 3 because
I think they have to win Game 3.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere, and I just want to see if they're able to play some good basketball. Mm-hmm. They haven't really been. They played good basketball in moments in Game 2, cut the lead down a little bit, but still got away from the good things that helped them decrease the lead, and then ultimately gave it away to make it a substantial, a pretty solid win there for the Pacers. So you would just think at this point in the season, those things are corrected. It's human element, of course. Nobody's perfect, but we just see a trend here, and there's a common denominator. So, I don't want to see Giannis leave, but ultimately, listen, I always felt like he would never retire. He would never finish his career with the Bucks. It's not realistic.
Right.
It's not realistic. New people come in ownership. And then you give people new positions. They have a different way of how they see things. It may not be aligned with how Giannis may see things and these top guys.
Mm-hmm.
We have a disagreement. Okay, let's work on trying to do something else for the future. I don't want to go there yet because it's still a live series and they have an opportunity to still win and tie it up. But it's a discussion that could possibly be had, especially if they lose the series, in 5, or if it's 6, but not really that convincing. Like there will be discussion. There's already been discussions now. I just want to wait because I don't want to just super assume, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good.
Right.
They need to figure it out in Game 3.
I definitely think if Game 3 goes to the Pacers, it's a discussion that's about to happen. Because if they go up 3-1 and the Bucks even win 2 games, and then the Pacers win that 4th, and it's like, okay, we were clawing back to get into this when we really didn't have a chance. We had a losing battle that we were trying to face, and we snuck out too. I think it's going to be a discussion for sure. But I'm just bringing it up for a thought. Again, like I said, supposed to win your 2 home games, and it's going to be even. That's what is done in this. We've heard it so many times. It's a mini series, basically. 2-game series home, 2-game away. So let's hope Milwaukee makes this a series because it's the 4-5. It's the one that's supposed to be the toughest as far as back and forth, and it's 2-0. So we'll see how it goes. On my screen, what I'm watching here, Oklahoma is down at the end of the first quarter. Well, they just took the score away. I can't remember what it was. It's like 39-25 or something like that. Still not come up. So that game's going on. Of course, I think, are the Clippers playing tonight too?
Yeah, the Clippers are playing tonight on NBA TV. I just switched to that game just now.
Okay. All right, so we're watching 2 different games. That's cool. We can kind of update that. So anything else we want to talk about the Pacers and the soon-to-be fired Doc Rivers team? I mean, the Bucks.
Yeah, I like the way Siakam has been playing in this series.
Yes,
he got the extension. He looks healthy. Like he might have been battling with something last year towards the end of the year, but he looks much healthier now. He's getting to the spots, doing the things that he was doing in Toronto. I still feel like if they want to compete with the Cavs and the Celtics, they need one more piece. But they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere for sure. Like I said,
having 2 big that are mobile helps them a lot. Miles Turner, which we mentioned, and then, of course, Pascal. Those 2 guys are really game changers for the fact that they have that size and the mobility that they have. So they can't make noise. Let's honestly, I think they match up well with Cleveland with their 2 bigs and what they've got going on now. I mean, that's for another discussion as we get to it. But, yeah, I mean, the Pacers, they have the size team with a good guard at it. So, it could be very interesting to see if they actually make a run in the East.
Yeah, run. I mean, I don't know, but I wouldn't say a run. I like, again, as I said earlier, I do believe it's really a 2-team race in the East.
100%.
But in terms of making it competitive, I agree. I agree with you saying. Mm-hmm. They do have a style against the Cavs or the Celtics that would make it interesting.
Mm-hmm. I guess when I'm saying the run, like, I'm that Cinderella team. Like, they could with their lineup. I'm not saying that it's a percentage up there high. Like, I mean, it's either going to be Cleveland or Celtics, but with the size they have, there's been some crazier things happen. So
it's very true. Yep. It's very true. So yeah, great start for Indiana and for Milwaukee. Let's see what adjustments are going to be made. Obviously, Dame just getting the conditioning is something that is a natural thing it's a natural plus to going into the next game, right? Mm-hmm. Him missing so much time, now he can really practice, get 5-on-5, really get his win back. So he needed that game. She didn't shoot the ball well. In game 2. I expect him to play better in these next 2 games. I expect him to easily play better in these next 2 games. Giannis and
for
Dame.
sure.
Giannis is already averaging 35 in the series. So if you could get 24, 25 from Dame, Giannis is always going to get that because you can't stop him from not getting it. So like he's always going to, and this is why, again, like whatever happens in the future, players are going to want to be his teammate because you could get the 35 and 15 and there's still so many more possessions for you to go be able to do what you need to do. And that's why I like the pairing of Lillard and Giannis when they first connected because of that. And I think Dame in these next 2 games is going to step up and do something special.
Yeah. Oh. And those fouls always scare me. I can't see who it is because the screen's so small, but I think it's Williams. Went for a dunk, got fouled, and landed hard on his tail. It's just you waiting for a bone to be broken on that. So because he hit hard. But anyways, so since we're both talking about some West Coast, let's go ahead and jump on over to our number 7 seed in the Western Conference. And that, of course, is the Rockets and the Warriors. And they're tied up right now 1-1. Honestly, this is one series I want to watch, but I haven't caught the first 2 games. So I want to hear your thoughts on this, of course, just by going by the screen. Not that I know this. Sengun's averaging 21 points, 12 rebounds with the 4 assists, and then Curry being Curry with 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. What's your thoughts on these first 2 games here?
Jalen Green plays to the level of his talent. They could defeat Golden State even if they had Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
I think because if he has the mindset, nobody can stop me, nobody can stay in front of me. The shooting, the spacing, Sengun, his talent at that center spot, and the physicality that they bring from everybody else, from Amin Thompson and Tari Eason, Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks. It's a reason why they're the 2 seed in the West. The first game, I feel like it was some nerves, definitely some nerves. Even Jalen Green had admitted to that in the post game press conference. He was like, there was some nerves there. Second game, he just felt more comfortable, was able to get to his spots, really display his athleticism. He's a A+ athlete. So what he's able to do, shooting the ball, slashing, they don't really have the defenders to stay with that. If he's aggressive, Golden State don't have the Moses Moody's a good defender. Perdipsky is a good defender, but they're not. They don't have the foot speed to keep up with Green when he's locked in 100%. So he changes the whole series for Houston. Jimmy Butler getting hurt. I don't know what the timetable is. Probably a game or so. You would hope game 4, if he comes back for game 3, even better. But I believe Golden State could be able to win one without him. It's not going to be easy, of course. I just felt like the way the Rockets played last night, it was just more of, again, we're going to be more physical. People are complaining about the refs and it's being too physical now. These people are crazy. Like they complain about what they didn't like and why the different eras are different. And now you have a series that's displaying that. And you're saying, whoa, relax, it's too much. It's like these people, they don't know what they want. They don't know what they want, man. I said Golden State in 6, but only because of the inconsistency of Jalen Green. But they could definitely go 7 games. I'm still going with my prediction with Golden State in the series, but it's just like him and Cade. They're always going to be discussed between Cunningham and Green, just because they were in the same class at a high school, college, everything. Green went to G League Ignite. Cade went to Oklahoma State. So far, I would say Cade has, been playing better just because he's been more consistent. I said talent-wise, it's the same, but the consistency is on a different level when it comes to Cunningham. So I think right now, if we could just see more of a consistent. Now, we're not saying these should be in the 30, but I mean, realistically, if you want to win playoff series, your best players usually get around 30, 27. So Butler's injury, Green's rise, it just makes the series much more exciting.
I was trying to look on the internet and Twitter, whatever you want to call it, all those different media outlets that we have about Butler and what we're expecting him to be out. And there's comments 3 hours ago that his agent put out a cryptic message on Twitter, and it just says "Pray for the Bear." And then, of course, Spears, I think it's Mark Spears. Anyways, Mark has put out that Kuminga better be ready for Game 3. And they're not saying that he's out, but it's sounding like some of these things that are coming out that Jimmy Butler won't be there for Game 3. Of course, that's speculation. And when it's playoff time, sometimes those things come out just so they start planning for the other guy, and Butler makes the appearance. So you don't believe anything until it is game time and you see if he's out there or not. It's just an edge that everybody
Kuminga
wants.
Better be ready for Game 3?
Yes.
I mean, he hasn't played the whole series. He hasn't played the series, and he hasn't really played even towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the issue with him and Steve Kerr is. It's been ongoing for the last few years, really. There have been, Jonathan Kuminga trade discussions at least for the last 2-3 years. Moses Moody was able to figure it out. Those were the top 2 picks, 7-14 in that draft class. Moody's is a starter now for the Golden State Warriors. Like I said, I don't know what's the issue there. It's very unfortunate because he's definitely the best athlete on the team. Mm. So if you're able to match the athleticism with the IQ, that could sway the series as well. So I don't know what their beef is between Kerr and Jonathan Kuminga. Is it an effort thing? No clue. But if they're somehow able to patch that up, for the sake of winning, right? Isn't that what it's all about? Mm-hmm. I mean, this guy Stephen Curry's 37, going out there still running around 3-4 miles a game, trying to get open, knocking down threes. I just feel like you might want to figure out what you could do better. Look in the mirror and reflect. You're playing. You got Steph Curry as your teammate. I'm not there, so I don't know. But if that's patched up, if that can be figured out, it's great. It's great. I just don't see that as being something that's realistic based on what we've seen so far. So with Butler out, those other guys are going to have to step up. Santos, Quentin Post, Moses Moody's going to have to play even better. Pod's going to have to play even better. Draymond Green needs you to score a little bit more, brother. How you only getting 8 points? How you only getting 8 points in the game, man? You're better. To me, I always feel like he's better than only 8 points in the game. Right. He can easily get 15. Just effort plays and doing the little things, exploiting low IQ from the other teams. You can easily get 15. Whew. So when he gets 8s, when he gets 8, 6, and 7, I'm just hey, bro, in today's NBA, you should be getting 17. You got Steph, your teammate Stephen Curry, you can't get 17. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at 8 points running it's just, thinking off of the pick and roll alone with Steph Curry, obviously, they're more worried about Curry than they are Draymond. You should be able to get 10 points. You should be getting a double-double just for slipping the pick. I mean, they're going to hedge it. We know that's how it goes.
Of course, right?
You should be ready to score. Yeah. So, and plus his IQ. I mean, I'm repeating what you said basically, but just his IQ being in the right spot, happening to be making those plays, putbacks really. So, I mean, it's.
For Şengün, I like the way Udoka challenged Şengün always throughout the season. Saying he needs to be better, stop playing like these other Euro guys. Play like Jokic, be physical. You use your size and your IQ, to really manipulate the defenses and be dominant. Mm-hmm. Because
go ahead. Go ahead. I was going to ask another question on a different thing.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You're good.
So there was some type of scuffle between these two teams last game, wasn't there? I read something about it, but I didn't get the chance to go in depth with it.
Yeah, Draymond Green and Fred VanVleet, they had a little discussion. It's not crazy. Listen, I'm not moved by these quote unquote altercations that we've seen so far. This is nothing. You know, we grew up watching stuff real situations go on the court. So, you know, it's nice to see some competitiveness. Like guys, like, you know, I want to win. I don't like you. You know, I want to win this. I want to win this game. That's good to see. But outside of that, it's just, you know, it's just basketball.
You know, this ain't playoff talk more, but I mean, it probably does happen. But I don't know why I get so upset with NBA after the game's over with, because all of a sudden they're all buddies. They go change these jerseys out, and then it's like loving and joking around. I'm sorry, but I grew up, if my team lost, you don't have fun. Like, you know, that's just not a thing, you know? So you shake the hands, tell them good game, you get in the locker room, you're getting your butt chewed out. Like NBA now, it's just like after the end, oh man, like let's go get some chicken wings at the where did he go? Never mind. To the club down in Miami. I can't even remember what happened on with that story, but just go out and hang out basically when you're supposed to not like each other. Especially now it's a series, you know, it's just something that's different. And it's all in general different. Even the NFL's that way some now. It's just the whole not like you while we're playing is a thing of the past now. And part of it, in my opinion, is because there's so many different AAU teams that we have now that half these guys played together as far as traveling teams that they are. So they're friends. And I get that. But at the same time, man, my best friend played for the rivalry high school. And when we stepped on the court, I'm sorry, I don't like you for the next 40 minutes. But once we step off and we're out of our jerseys, okay, we can be besties again, but not until then. So just different eras. I get it, but it's good to see those things sometimes.
Yeah, the eras are completely different, man. It's just different time. As I was saying, where Udoka challenging Alfred Şengün, it's 21 and 12. 21 is good. Mm-hmm. You want to win this series, it has to be around 26 and 12. 26 and 12 with what Green is doing, everybody else will rally behind. And Amin Thompson, that's their core three. It's an excellent core three. If Amin Thompson can work on his floor spacing, it's over. It's over. It's a wrap, bro. It's a wrap. He gets his outside shooting down. Good luck for the rest of the West and the NBA.
I'm fine with Şengün getting 20 to 22 points a game with those rebounds, because he also gets good assists too, you know, from the block out for the three or whatnot. He's got a good vision for a big there. So I'm going to say if he's getting 22, 12, and at least 7 to 8 assists a game, I'm okay with that, because those assists are actually probably going to amount for more points, because it's usually the help down and rotation of your three-pointers out there to kick out, so you get more points off of those. So as long as he's flirting close to a triple-double in her stats, I'm okay. Well, with 20 points, flirting with a triple-double, I'm happy with him. And that's, to me, not out of the question, really.
A triple-double?
Yes. I mean, at least flirting with it. Like I'm saying, eight assists a game, 7 or 8 assists with the rebounds, of course.
It's expected. It's expected.
Right.
I know he's a young player, and it's their first time in the playoffs. So, but again, if you want to create a story, you knocking out the Warriors when everybody saw them as being, a top 3 title favorite.
Yep. Huge.
And even though you're the 2 seed, everybody's, and I'm picking Golden State too. Everybody seems like everybody outside of Houston is going with the 7 seed. So you prove a majority of people that are watching this series wrong, despite being the higher seed. It changes a lot. And I think he definitely has to take his game to another level, because Steph is going to take his game to another level. You have to match that. If the other team's best player is going to know, okay, one of these games I might need 40. Yeah, this is the type of series where I might need 40 in one of these games. And you have to understand that and say, okay, listen, like I might have to go get 30. And then my other teammate will do the same thing. He'll get 27. You have to be able to complement it. If you don't do that, you're going to take an L. But like I said, the Rockets did a great job of locking in. Everybody played well. Started with Green. You could tell, like once he got it going, everybody else just followed suit. So it was a great win for Houston. first playoff win in this new era, this new core, post James Harden era.
Mhm.
It's been fun to watch. It's only the beginning.
So right now, Oklahoma is up 2-0. We know in the series, but right now Memphis is just putting it on them. I think it's going to a commercial, so I can't see right now, but I want to say it was 37-21. I might be. I'm sorry, I totally lied to you. 61-37. I'm not even doing it right. So Memphis is almost up by 30 points here in the second quarter, and Scottie Pippen has 19 points. So it's good for the Memphis Grizzlies. Love the uniforms. Of course, they're going with that teal color uniforms. It's the best.
It's incredible. It's incredible for the Grizzlies. No, seriously.
Absolutely.
Like the way it was trending, it was bad. It was bad. The way it was trending. So this is an excellent response for Memphis.
Of course,
you talk
Oklahoma.
about grind.
Yes, Oklahoma's not scored a basket in the last almost coming up on 5 minutes now. 4 minutes left in the half, and it's 63-37. And that's another turnover. It's about to be a dunk by Ja, so now it's 65-37. They're seriously 28 points up in the first half. Yeah, we might as well talk about it since we're jumping there.
Yeah, we might as well, man, because I was really, this is great to see from Memphis. I'm gonna still talk about what I didn't like in the first two games, but yeah,
of course. As far as watching this, Ja is really showing up and honestly being the leader on there. There's a couple plays that he could have been the easy scorer, but he passed it off. One was even on a fast break. There's a couple of times where they get the ball into the post, and Ja's man knows that he can help because Ja's not a super threat from outside, but he's making the basket cut, the backdoor cut. And when he could go in and try to draw the contact off of it and, be the creator that he is, he just lobs it up on the rotation, the dunker spot for Edey. So, he's really making the right calls, the right reads right now. And, of course, when Scottie Pippen has 19 points in the first half, that's always going to be a plus for you no matter what team you are. So, it's their defense is looking very well. And I'm going to say this too. Oklahoma, their shots have been very flat, and some of them has been very close to air balls hitting the front of the rim like that bad. So it's just not OKC's night, and that happens. So, if it continues in this trend that, Grizzlies blow them out, OKC, you just got to watch the film and say, hey, listen, to what or not, this is 1-0. So get it out of your head and let's get focused back on what we did the first two games and go on. But, Grizzlies are playing great right now. What are your thoughts on the first two games?
Man, game one, that
131-80.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible what we saw. The lack of effort from everybody to just get smoked like that by 50 in a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
After really, really getting a really big win against the Mavericks on Friday, and then on Sunday you just go out and get smoked by 51. It's wild. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But then game two, really more the same thing. Just lack of effort. The defense wasn't there. People were screaming for sweep, and I definitely felt like it's a possibility. But what we see right now, in game three, has been great. It's been great from the Grizzlies. This is what we expected. I expect them to play better. I didn't expect it to be a 7-game series, but I feel like what the Grizzlies have, the talent, they have their talent. They're more talented than, the AFC title.
Mm-hmm.
And new head coach, new philosophies, new scheme. Jerry Jackson Jr., it's very similar with Towns, where it's very talented, but just on both, he just fades sometimes. It's not always there. Oh, John Moran did a little bump on Chet. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Listen, this grit, you can't call yourself grit and grind, and then you gotta get blasted by 50 in a playoff game. You have to come correct, especially when you go back home. It looks like it's jam packed. It looks packed in there right now. So, these jerseys, the Vancouver Grizzlies, fire. It's one of the best jerseys
They really are.
ever. It's one of the best jerseys ever in sports, period. So glad they brought it back. They understood the assignment. I feel like everybody understood the assignment. They got the fire jerseys on. You can't get smoked. You cannot get smoked to these throwback Grizzlies jerseys. You cannot. It's like the Raptors getting smoked in the purple joints.
The purples, oh man,
with the dinosaur. It's not,
yes.
Those
might be the best jerseys ever.
Yes,
the purple, the Toronto ones. Yeah,
those definitely top two for sure.
Top two. Who do you have? What jersey you have up there with it? We're getting off subject here, but I'm interested
in terms of creativity.
Just drip, man, and I feel so stupid saying that, but I mean, those purple jerseys. I mean, I'll say I like the old Hornets too, with the blue that they have, the baby blue. But
Hornets, there's a few. We'll go back to that.
That might be after season. After season, we need to do a top 10 jerseys.
Top 10 jerseys, definitely. But
yeah.
Okay, see, they're a powerhouse. Listen, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's not even having a great series, and look how they've been able to really just decimate the Grizzlies in the first two games.
Yep,
78 points. I mean, come on, that's just in today's NBA. Clamping up. They have a bunch of defenders they can throw at Ja. Got SGA, Wallace, Dort, Caruso, Williams.
What's crazy is 80 points in that first game in 4 quarters. And right now, once it gets done with this replay, with 2 minutes to go in the second quarter, they're at 65 points with 3 minutes left. So you're going to get close to 70 points in 2 quarters of what you scored 80 points in 4. Like, that's crazy when you think of that.
Yeah, it's just energy, effort. Ja just went down. He tried to go for a dunk. Fell pretty. It was a tough fall.
Oh, you're watching the game now?
Yeah.
Okay. I've not seen that yet.
Yeah, prayers up. Hope everything is good. I mean, I don't know if it was on his shoulder or something. I'm not sure.
Oh, my.
So I'm saying it gets so high, right? It's just.
Well, he hasn't grabbed for anything, so I don't know what he's hurt at, but yeah.
Yeah, this. I don't think it was a dirty play. I just think it was a hard foul.
Yeah, looks like it's hip. Might have came on that hip bone, which is very, very tough when you hit that. Because there ain't much meat between that. But we'll see how that goes. But, of course, there's 3 minutes to go, 67-40. The Grizzlies are answering back the way that they should to keep the momentum going for this game 4. Of course, there's still a second half to go. Do what?
Zach Edey, he's a rookie. I see on X, he gets a lot of hate, but I think he's going to be really good in this league. I think he will ultimately be a top 10 center in the NBA very soon. I'd say by his third year.
Oh, not for the whole career of centers, just in the league now, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
okay. It's like, whoa.
Just because you look at someone like Zubats, right? Zubats, it took a minute, it took a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Now he was younger when he got to the A.
Right.
Zubats was 19, Edey was 20, 21, 22. Mm-hmm. But I just think the development, he'll get more touches. He's going to get stronger. Obviously, Ja's ability, right? He's going to automatically create too. So if you're rolling to the basket, you're going to get easier baskets. He has to work on having a post game. He has to work on his post game.
Which is crazy to say because he's the most truest center that we really have in the NBA as far as size and what he does, except for post moves.
Yeah, just work on get the footwork down pat. Josh staying in the game. That's what we like to see. It's a hard fall. You think he's all right. Got to knock down the free throws. I don't know if he has to knock down the free throws and stay in the game. So I don't know if it's staying in the game after the free throws or they're probably going to the locker room, just to be on the safe side. They're up 30.
Especially, up 30 and it's almost halftime. Like, hey, let me shoot my shots. And then
shoot the shots. And, you get the necessary treatment.
Yeah.
But Edie's rise and his ability to continue to grow as a player, I think it could transform some things because I just don't know if Jaren Jack. I don't know if he's ready to take that next step. He should be in the all NBA discussions. He has that type of talent. And there were moments during the season where we saw that. But again, in the playoffs, I just feel like he's too complacent and just standing at the 3-point line and being the floor spacer. He has, when he drives and he does the floater and the push shot, that's a great move. And it's necessary, especially if you knock down a couple threes, they're gonna have to close out hard. So you're able to 2 dribbles, you got an easy dunk or a floater. It's a smart thing to work on. I just think he can continue to grow, work on his handle. He should be able to have the basketball a little bit more, create, get other guys involved. That's the next step for him. If he's able to work on that and take his game to the next level in those areas,
mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking about maybe one of the greatest conferences, ever. Because the talent is endless. And look at what he's already done, defensive player of the year and everything. I just think offensively, there's still another cap he can take it to, and if he's able to reach that, it just helps the Grizzlies' development in their timeline even better. And I think it helps keep Ja there for the foreseeable future. So hopefully, prayers up for Ja. I don't know what's going on. He's going to the locker room. Hopefully everything's good. Looked like he fell on the hip.
Yep. So they're showing the replays on mine now. And it's a hard foul, and it's more because he was sliding too. I think it was Dort. It just kind of what happens there. It's one of them freak accidents, honestly. But I want to say this.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, while Jaws in the locker room, I hope they look at that beard that he's got going on and just kind of maybe trim that up, man. Like, come on. We can have a better beard than that, can't we? But, he's sorry. On mine, he's taking off his jersey going to the locker room. He's probably done when they're up 27 points. So there's no point in risking any. Oh, yeah, he hit pretty hard on that hip. Okay, so.
For OKC, Jalen Williams being the leading scorer and they're up 2-0 in the series is a great sign. It's a great sign. I believe Chet Holmgren also has to continue to be more of a scorer, stay aggressive. But it seems like just even his SGA's teammates, they have high IQ. They see he's not knocking down the shots. He's getting good shots, but they're not going in. But okay, let me stay aggressive. Mm-hmm. Jalen Williams just hit a big 3 just now. 2:30 left in the half. Let me stay aggressive, and that's what we've seen so far from the other players on the Oklahoma City Thunder. They talk about their depth. That's been their strength all season, and it's showing right now early in this series against the Memphis Grizzlies. So, you obviously expect SGA to have one of these spectacular games here soon because he is a great player. That's usually what these guys do after struggling a little bit. They have a great performance. We'll see when that is. Could it be tonight? It could be a tale of two halves. I don't know. Anything could happen. You see momentum change all the time.
I'm happy to see Casey Wallace getting some minutes this year, stepping up his game quite a bit. Just want to test you here. Where do you think he went to college at?
I'm gonna guess and say Kentucky.
You would be correct, man. You know your college basketball very well. But
it starts with defense. That's what he was able to do from the jump. Even last year, been able to really play defense well. Mm-hmm. When you're a young guy, that's what's going to get you on the court. He understands that, and for him to understand that this early in his career, it's just he's going to continue to grow, get better. Mm-hmm.
Especially if you got SGA ahead of you, like 2 Kentucky guys, and one's kind of teaching the torch. I'll say that as far as I won't say passing the torch, but teaching what he's doing. So yeah.
Oh, so we got the Clippers up 11 against the Nuggets. I'm about to go back to that game right now.
Okay, want to go ahead and jump on that conversation? So, of course, number 4 seed Nuggets against the Clippers. They are tied 1-1. They're playing right now, as we're saying. Would you say on NBA.com?
NBA TV.
TV, yeah, not .com. So that game's going on. This one's about to go to half. I think I'll go ahead and switch over to that one with you as well. So, of course, I got to click a few clicks before I can get mine to work.
Yeah, brother.
So with it being 1-1, I can't remember. I think I went with the Nuggets in 6. I think you said Clippers in 6, didn't you?
No, I said Clippers in 7.
Clippers in 7, okay. But still, you went Clippers, I went Nuggets at least. Okay.
Yes. This has been pretty much going about what I expect. I expect it to be a back and forth series. Two extremely talented teams. I'll say well coached because you got to add Jokic in there. He's pretty much the coach on the court. So even though we don't know too much about David Adelman, but he's been with that team for some time. So and they trusted him to be the next guy. So he obviously knows what he's doing. And Clippers really hit their stride at the right time towards the end of the year. Played their best basketball, played some of the best basketball in the entire NBA at the right time. And that's really what it's all about. How you're playing before the playoffs. You're able to hit your stride in around 25 games after that All-Star break. Can you lock in, do the necessary things to get a solid seeding? Game 2, what we saw, it's Kawhi. It's just on a different level. When he's 100%, he's out there, he's healthy. It's not too many people in the world that's on his level. KD, LeBron, Steph, Luka, Jokic, Giannis. I mean, he's on that. When he is 100%, he is 100% on that same type of wavelength. In the playoffs, you've seen the moments that he's created in the playoffs over the course of his career. They don't have an answer for him because he's always able to get to his spots. He's always going to get to his spots, always. And the mid range, it's just money. 15 and 19 in game 2. Once he's able to get to his spots and the 3-point shot is going down, there's really nothing you could do as a team. You just really have to hope he miss, really contest well, don't foul. Those things that you could control, you just make sure you work on that because he's going to get his. Now you don't want to have him get 15 for 19. You want to have him get the ball out of his hands a little bit. I feel like they did a really good job of that in game 1, which led to the W for Denver. Right now it's still very early. They're down, but they're a really good offense. So I expected maybe for them to come back and make it competitive, but you gotta trap Kawhi and make him be a playmaker. You can't have him get into a rhythm, get into a spots every single possession. As soon as you get down, just load up. Let Norman Powell, let Chris Dunn, and what Ty Lue does a good job of, whatever side that Kawhi is on, Norman Powell is always on that strong side. Because and Dunn's had a phenomenal year, but he's not a great floor spacer. So whoever's going to guard and Dunn, they're going to help right there. So Ty Lue is just, I guess, coaching matters. Whoever tells you coaching doesn't matter, you don't let these people on TV tell you that coaching does not matter. We just seen the Suns have 3 head coaches in 5 years. Don't tell me head coaching doesn't matter, right? Ty Lue put Norman Powell on that strong side with Kawhi. It's perfect because he has that defender has to stay on Powell because of the numbers, and it's in the corner. So that creates easy isolations for Leonard, and in isolation, good luck. So Zubats, a double, making it difficult. He just has to play. He just has to be himself. Just be himself, and Jokic is gonna get tired. It's been a really good. It's been a really good battle. Yeah, so just be yourself. Don't try to do anything else. Just different. Just be you. And that's double machine, floaters, rolling to the basket, catching lobs. You should be blocking shots. You're 7 feet tall. Getting steals. You're 7 feet tall. You should be able to see every pass that's coming your way. You should definitely get steals. That's one thing I like about Jokic. Top 3 in steals. So I know that he has defensive responsibilities. It's still not to my liking as a true center, but he does everything else so well. You're okay with what he doesn't necessarily not do well in terms of rim protection. Definitely would be, if he was a great rim protector, it's definitely something that would help the Nuggets right now in terms of guys thinking twice before going to the paint. He's not lateral he's not, in terms of lateral quickness, it's not elite to go from one spot to another. But they've been able to make it work all these years. And again, they did win a championship, but teams get better every year. Teams get better every year. And I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they're down 15 right now. Is this the lineup? We've kind of seen this lineup already for the last 4 years. This, whoever gets knocked, if they get knocked out in the first round, I believe there'll be a lineup change for the Nuggets. I believe that. You just fire the head coach 3 games before the season. You telling me
that's crazy?
They wouldn't be accustomed to changing the lineup. It's very possible. It's very possible. Now they got DeAndre Jordan out there now playing some more minutes. Why? Because Zubac is making the opposing team go big, go traditional. And that's what and we're gonna get into the Lakers and Timberwolves. That's what Gobert doesn't do well. He doesn't make the other team adjust to what his strengths. That's a great offensive player. That's why Shaq would have dominated in this era, because you would have had to go traditional big. There's no way you're going small ball with Shaq in there. There's no way. There's no way. Now you're gonna have your small ball center get in foul trouble. Now you're gonna bring out
yeah. And I don't want to get too much in that conversation, but I love Shaq. Shaq's my number 2 favorite guy. Of course, Jason Kidd's my number 1. But if Shaq played now, which we talked about this a few weeks ago, I guess, Edie would probably be the biggest size to guard him. And
tallest, yes.
Tallest with the physique too.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there thinking, I still think Shaq would just dominate.
For sure, yeah, absolutely.
So it blows my mind that people think that different generations, different eras are weaker or whatever, but there's no one in the NBA that would stop Shaq. Period.
Yeah, I completely agree. And again, this series has 2 really good centers. One, obviously, Hall of Famer Locke,
DeAndre Jordan,
and Zubac. He continues to get better and grow. He could definitely be on his way to having a Hall of Fame career. He's still very young. I think he's 26. 8 elite years, 8 solid years, maybe 5 to 7 All-Star appearances. That's all. He's a lot. Playing with Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard's health will definitely make a difference. Him and Kawhi are healthy together. Say they have 3-4 seasons together, healthy. We're having different conversations.
And one's a ring.
If they win a ring together?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, huge
if they were to do that,
difference.
Yeah, huge difference for sure. Changes everything. So,
golly, those crossovers by Kawhi, man, that's tough. But what about Batum, who's made 2 threes that I've seen here? Ain't he 50? We're talking about LeBron playing at 40. How old is Batum?
I think he's right up there. It's 3rd oldest player. Him and LeBron, Chris Paul. I think Batum, Taj Gibson. I think those guys are.
Oh yeah. Well, Taj, he was out for a while.
Batum's been in the league for a minute. I remember he was on the Trailblazers, young.
Yep.
From France.
Did he play for the Hornets too?
He did play for the Hornets. Those were the weird years.
Yep.
He got that crazy. Jordan gave him that crazy contract.
Yep.
That to this day. I mean, I don't know what Jordan was doing, man. Anyways, but yeah, then he started going to some winning teams and showing that he's still an impact player. Because that's exactly what we saw early in his career when it was B. Roy, LA, Nate McMillan coaching that team, Rudy Fernandez.
Yay.
They were solid, bro. They were solid. B. Roy's health. It's kind of the same thing we're talking about now with Kawhi.
Mm-hmm.
But Batum just figured it out. Listen, stand in the corner, knock down shots.
Yep.
Versatile defender. Yeah, you got younger guys. You got younger players coming in. If I could just keep my athleticism still at an elite level, which is obviously a difficult thing to do. It's not easy, because if it was easy, we see more people doing it.
Yeah.
But if he's able to do that, keep his athleticism right, he's going to have higher IQ than all these guys that's coming into the NBA.
Yeah,
and he's on the perfect team to as well. So they're dangerous. You got Derrick Jones Jr. Bogdanovich was a really nice pickup.
Mm-hmm.
If he gets it going, he's a streaky scorer. But if he has it going, he's knocking down a couple threes. That just adds to their offense and makes them more dangerous. Nuggets cut the lead to 10. Cut the deficit to 10.
They hit a couple threes on my. I'm behind you. They're down 13 right now.
Westbrook just hit a 3. Man, listen. You know what you're gonna get from Russ. It's not always gonna be perfect. He's gonna have his flaws.
Yeah.
But you have to put respect on his name, man. You cannot tell me. Listen, you cannot tell me that he doesn't impact winning. His style is different. His style is definitely different. For him to be at this stage of his career, the floor spacing is still important. This is what we talked about when he was on the Lakers and everything.
Yeah.
But the effort plays, the energy he brings. You're telling me you're going to go with a rookie or a younger player over Westbrook in the playoffs? Come on. No way. There's no way.
It's almost the same conversation with Batum that we're just having. Batum was able to knock down and not have to be the athletic person. That's what's prolonged his career. But then you got Westbrook, who never developed that shot, and that's why it's been more struggle for him moving through in his career. But he's starting to hit a little bit better from 3. I wouldn't say
better.
Yeah. So I mean, he's trying to make that change to stay relevant. But I mean, man, the energy that he brings, the athleticism, man, it's hard not to have him on a team.
He went to the perfect team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a floor spacing 5, that a playmaking floor spacing center.
Yep.
So that's perfect for him. So there's so many lanes, easy for him to cut. All they need for him, if he can knock down 2 threes and do everything else, it's a great night. It's a great night for us. We just need 2 threes. You don't need 5, 6, just 2, and then slash, beat a dunker spot, knock down free throws, hustle plays.
Yep.
Should be able to get 17, 18.
Yeah. He needs to think that he's the center. Setting all those picks, rolling, getting the mismatch, whatever, and doing that.
And it works. That's what we've seen. We've seen that in Denver all the time. Him being a screener for Jokic, and they've been able to, really exploit mismatches.
Yeah.
It's been fun to watch. His story is, can he win a championship? Just like James Harden. I mean, these are 2 of the most gifted guards I've ever seen with my own eyes, watching the game of basketball. What they were able to do over the last 12 years has been sensational for both players, Oklahoma City and Houston, respectively. Being able to win MVPs, being former teammates at that young age, going to the finals, splitting up and having legendary careers. They're really just missing that chip.
Yep.
They're missing that chip. They're able to win that championship. We have a different discussion. This is why Curry was able to dominate this era, the LeBron era, because he got the championships.
100%.
That's what it is right there. You talk about talent, Harden, Westbrook, yeah, for sure, they're right up there with Steph. But you talk about winning.
Talk about Steph.
Yeah, that's it. So they're still 35 plus. Still striving, still trying to chase that chip. It's been exciting to watch, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I would say I think one of these guys win a championship before they retire.
Okay.
I'm going to say before they retire, either Westbrook or Harden, I believe one of them will win a chip. I don't believe both of them will not win a championship in their career.
Okay. Who are you going to put your money on?
Jokic is the best player in the world. So Westbrook is able to stay with him for a few more years. I do believe they have to change his team up a little bit. You need another great player next to Jokic. Listen, it's an early series, but I still feel like they need another elite player next to Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
If Russ is able to stay with him, stay with the Nuggets for the next few years of his career, it could be Russ. But Kawhi is able to stay healthy with James. It's close. It's close. That's why I feel like they're right. They're on the perfect teams to be able to position themselves to get in one.
It's good control by Zubac on that play. I'm going to go Harden just before the fact that he's with the Clippers and they have they got Kawhi Leonard on the team. So, I mean, it's hard to ever say he's not going to win a ring. So, other than that, I like Westbrook on the Nuggets team. But I feel like they've already peaked. And I hate to say it, but like we've talked about earlier, most teams get better. The Nuggets haven't really made any noise. Their biggest noise they made was getting Aaron Gordon, and they won a ring after that. And they haven't made much noise. They've let free agencies go away. So I feel like the Clippers are more poised to keep growing and learning because they've not been 100% healthy a long time. The Nuggets have been. So I'm going to go with Harden, even though I don't want to. I want it to be Westbrook. But listen, we've talked a lot about the Nuggets and the Clippers. Let's go ahead and jump back over to the East because I want to keep the last one for last. And let's talk about the Cavaliers against Miami. My two East teams, even though I don't like the Cavaliers like a fan, but just because I've been high on who they are and what they've done. Facing off, of course, the 1 seed is the Cavaliers, 8, and Miami, who was the 10th coming in the play-in, winning the 2 games. But since that 2-game streak that they had, they haven't won. So they're down 0-2 in this series, and Cleveland really looks like they are the number 1 team in the East. What's your thoughts? What do you take away from this matchup? Of course, Cleveland has scored 121 in both games. Miami got 100, and then they did come back 112 the next. So, still losing by – might as well just say double digits both games there. Donovan's averaging 30 points per game, while Tyler Hero's averaging 27 as the leading scorers from each team. So, what's your thoughts?
Cavs doing exactly what they expected, what we all expected them to do. Man, Kenny Atkinson, he's been able to really unlock this team. Their ability to cut to the basket, even though Mobley and Allen aren't great floor spacers, they're still able to run 5 out, motion offense. Mobley can throw lobs to Allen and vice versa. It's not just one person doing everything. Everybody's involved. When everybody's involved, it makes the team much more dangerous. Now, obviously, yes, there's a shot hierarchy. But when the ball is being moved around, everybody's getting touches, it makes you play better defense collectively. And that's already what they do well, also at a high level. But it's also an efficient offense that is really tough to game plan and prepare for. And when you're the opposing defense, everybody on the team has to be locked in and understand their assignment. You can't hide anybody. When you're going up against an offense where you can't hide anybody, Celtics, OKC at times, it takes them to another level. So, Cleveland, they're a powerhouse, man. What Kenny Atkinson was able to do, the things that he got from his coaching experience from Golden State and other places, and implementing this into this Cavs team, it's really been an incredible story. Miami, they don't have the talent. They don't have the talent. And Hero and Bam, they're really good young players, but they don't have enough. They don't have enough to compete with this team. This is to me, this 1-8 is probably a little bit more true than OKC Grizzlies 1-8, even though it's still similar. But if you were to tell me, we've seen the Grizzlies and Miami match up before. We've seen Ja get the game winner and everything.
Yeah.
So I would favor the Grizzlies against the Heat if they were to play each other, right? It's just not. Getting to the playoffs is good. You want to play competitive. Garland has pretty much said they're picking on Tyler Hero defensively. If you're a competitor, what are you going to do about that? Yeah, you're getting 27. That's cool. And what do the shooting splits look like? And when a guy on the other team is pretty much saying we're going at you because you're not a good perimeter defender, you have to be able to respond. So I think Miami will win a game. I do believe they're winning. I don't like sweeps. I really don't. I like teams getting a dub, at least in front of their home crowd.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Giving the home fans something to go home for. They pay their hard-earned money all season to go watch you play. The least you could do is go out there and apply maximum effort and get a playoff win at home. So I think Miami will get one in Miami. But ultimately, I think the Cavs definitely get this in 5.
Okay. It's just I mean, to me, it's a team that still, of course, I'm talking about Miami here, who is still good, but just lacks that superstar to be the leader of this team. Jimmy Butler, who we lost, whatever happened there, I'm not for sure, but we're asking, I think, a little too much of Tyler Hero to be that guy. I do think he's a great player. I think he's also, he's an all-star, and I just feel like they are one superstar away from being relevant again. And by that, I mean the superstar's got to be the number one option. And how do you get a number one to come to your team to build around? But I mean, it is Miami, so it's possible. But I personally hope they win one game. But I actually think this is going to be a sweep. Cleveland just have been on firing on all cylinders all season long. And honestly, I think Donovan Mitchell should have got more praise for MVP. Not saying he should have won it, but more recognition as far as being the MVP. Because if you watch any Cleveland games, he's really doing a lot of the offense and then getting the teams involved with it too. He's carrying them, in my opinion, quite a bit. They are stepping up. They are scoring. Don't get me wrong, but Donovan Mitchell is that guy who's trying to score at will constantly. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a 4-game sweep, unfortunately. I hope Miami does get one. I hope it's game 3 to give them something to go home and to think, hey, let's come back and cheer again before we lose. And we're going home. But I hope you're right on at least one. What are your thoughts about what I said about Donovan Mitchell? Because I think you might disagree with himself.
Definitely should have been okay. In MVP talks. And again, the media, they don't know hoops. They don't know hoops. It should have been because look what he did. You put anybody else, say LeBron or KD would have had the record that the Cavs had, and he was leading that team. That the MVP.
Yep.
So and listen, Jokic had an incredible year, SGA as well. But I just feel like there really wasn't enough talk about Donovan Mitchell and what he did with this Cavs team, leading this team, being one of the leaders. How they were able to take this team to another level. And he's been the catalyst. He's the guy. He's the person that they lean on offensively, leadership-wise.
Yep.
Especially in big moments at the playoffs. So he definitely should. He should have been in more MVP discussions.
Okay,
for sure.
Good. Okay, so let's jump on to our last matchup of the playoffs right now. The first round, of course, we've got the number 3 LA Lakers against the number 6 Minnesota Timberwolves. And this series is tied 1-1. It's been fun to listen to the media or the social media, let me put it that way, on what's going on. Of course, Luka is averaging 34 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, while Ant-Man's averaging 23 points, 7 rebounds, 4.5 assists. So basically 5 assists with that. The first game went to the Timberwolves, 117-95, and then the Lakers do answer back, scoring just 94, but holding the Timberwolves to 85 points. I don't want to get into it yet about the Bronny and Ant-Man's post, but what's your thoughts so far on this series on basically the superstars standing out?
Yeah, for Minnesota, it was the first game they were to knock down their threes. Game 2, they couldn't buy a basket. And majority of that is because of the Lakers' defense. Really showing Ant-Man a crowd. He said this in the post-game interview, that they're kind of zoning it up, and that's what you have to do. You cannot let this man in isolation just go off. It's just not. That's not the formula to win. It's not. They can be a playmaker. If he has 12 assists and 20 points, I'm living with that. Live with those other guys knocking down those shots, and that's pretty much what they did. What the Lakers did yesterday. The other day. They pretty much lived with other guys knocking down shots. Yes, they knocked down the shots in game 1. Can they do that in game 2? They were unable to do that. LeBron still looked like he's still trying to come back from that injury, from the groin injury. Doesn't look how he looked before he got hurt. Gobert is just sad, man. He's a good defensive big in the middle, but he just doesn't have enough offense to be a game changer. He's not a great offensive player, and he never really worked on that aspect of his game. And since he never really worked on the aspect of his game in the playoffs, it's tough for him to, especially in today's NBA, how you offset the teams going small and putting you in the corner is on the other end. You have post moves and you make it undeniable to nobody can guard you. Now you create a tradition again, like we were saying earlier. You create a traditional lineup. Now you're changing how the team is playing. Now you can't necessarily go 5 out. It's different now. Now they're playing to your hand because of how dominant you're. Gobert is just not that type of offensive player. Never has, and I just don't really see it anytime soon. His year like 14, so yeah. So it's tough. Randall, Ant-Man, other players on the McDaniels, they have to play well. They have to play well. You know, Minnesota, they did what they were supposed to do. They were able to get one in Los Angeles. That was key. That was a big win in game 2. I don't like the way they played in game 2. I wasn't, even without just the shots not going in, just the effort, just some of the plays. I wasn't a fan of that. Luka, it's just about, can Luka be efficient? That's really what it's about. If Luka's efficient, it gives them the highest possibility to go out there and probability to win a series all the time. If he's getting the 29, 8, and 8 on inefficient shooting splits, it favors the opposing team. But if he's knocking down the 3 ball well, and other guys got it going, he's seeing the court the better, getting to the rim, going to the mid range, going to the basket. If it's not everything step back 3, I don't like when he just plays that way. It's very hard-esque in some ways. He does have those hardened tendencies, and he's not necessarily he's not an elite 3-point shooter. So you know, when it is at a solid clip, it just takes his game to another level. So on the road, I think he's going to have one of these spectacular games in Minnesota. He already did it before last year. I think LeBron will pick it up. Reeves, those other players. It's going to be a tough battle. I could see. I had Lakers in 6, but I could see it going 7. It's very possible that this could go 7 because Minnesota is a really good team. They didn't shoot the ball well in game 2, but for the most part throughout the season, they shoot the 3 ball really well. Defense is always going to be their calling card because of the players that they have in their lineup. I don't think Mike Conley and Nasri and these guys will play bad like they did in game 2. I think they'll step up and play better. But if I'm Los Angeles, man, you gotta really build off this win right here and try to get this game 3 on the road paramount.
Yeah, definitely. Because honestly, if Minnesota goes home and wins both of their games, like most of these mini series are supposed to play out, I mean, that's a lot more pressure on the Lakers then being down 3-1, going back to LA. But of course, that's a tough situation to come back. Obviously, the Lakers, what they have and everything is powerful. But I mean, I do think the Lakers get one in Minnesota. I mean, I'm just saying though, if they were to win both their games at home and really put the pressure on the Lakers, we could see Minnesota moving on in 6 or 7. So this is one of the series that I think if Luka has a great game, the Lakers are going to win. If Ant-Man has the better game than Luka, I think Minnesota's in the position to win. So, yeah, I think this is led by superstar power on this game or this series.
Yeah. And I think Luka and LeBron, I think they have an elite duo performance on the road coming up. I see it. I think it's bound to happen in one of these games.
Game 3 or game 4, which one you predicting?
I'm gonna say game 3. I'm gonna say tomorrow. I'm gonna say they lock it in tomorrow and go up 2-1, make it interesting.
It's the most important, in my opinion, that game 3, and it's just not this series. I think game 3 in every series is the most important. It puts the pressure on the other team for sure. Whoever wins that game 3.
Absolutely, man. AR, Hachimura, DFS. They need to play. They also need to step up on the road. They're gonna Gabe Vincent. They have to hit timely shots when you're up 5 and then they just hit a 3. Now you're up 2. You need a bucket. they're going to trap and load up on Luka. You're wide open in the corner. You have to knock down that shot. It's important for you to knock that down. So this game 3 is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, no question. Looking at the rebounding averages here, you would think with the Lakers not having a lot of size, especially at the front court spot, these numbers would sway more towards Minnesota side, but we don't see that. This is what I mean. It's what I go back to with Gobert, even Randall too. Nas Reed. I mean, those guys should be dominating the boards. You're going up against a team that doesn't necessarily have a power. Doesn't have a power. LeBron, I say LeBron's a power forward now at this stage, but they don't have another true power forward. They don't have an elite center. Jackson Hayes, he's calm. He's good. But he's not elite. So you got players that Nas Reed, 6th man of the year, All NBA, Julius Randle, 4-time defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert. You should be dominating the glass. The Lakers shouldn't have a 0.5 advantage in the rebound category. At all. That should be the one thing at least you could say you have the edge over the Lakers, because that's what they're not great at. So for the Lakers to be able to understand that's not necessarily their strength, and still keep it even and still be able to do things to keep that margin not at a large amount, it speaks to the coaching and the preparation.
I think 100% correct on that. Honestly, I feel like we've done our show. I think we've got it all wrapped up. Let's do real quick. Okay, let me look back here. Okay, Celtics, Magic, who you picking? After what we see, obviously we're going Celtics.
Celtics, yeah, same. Predictions the same. Nothing's changed. There's only been 2 games.
Right.
We're not changing no predictions over there.
So through all of them, nothing's changed. Sounds good to me, honestly. So have you been keeping up with the NFL draft? Right now, I didn't realize it was going with us here, but are we happy with what the Giants did? I've seen some different conversations going on about their pick there.
Yeah, the Giants went Abdul Carter, I believe.
Wait. You're a Pats fan, not a Giants fan. My bad.
Yeah, the Pat. Yeah, they took Will Campbell,
okay,
offensive lineman from the LSU. I don't think Shador got drafted in the first round.
I don't think he did. That was kind of the conversation I was seeing.
Wow. So it's only one or two things that happen from that, man. So I think you'll end up on a good team. So I wish him the best. But yeah, that wraps up the show, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to see 30 people in here watching us at 11:30.
Yes.
Thursday. We appreciate you. Make sure to go head over to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell.
Look at all the video that we have on our YouTube channel. Got some shorts on there. We've got all kinds of stuff.
On our X account, make sure you follow that as well. Follow me on X at CJames9_. CJ.James9 on IG. CJ versus the World. On X, CJ versus the World 9 on IG and TikTok. Thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Yep. You can find me, MDLawson00, on all social media platforms. I do have a podcast where I talk Kentucky basketball, football, baseball, whatever. It's called Cats Chat. We're live on Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 9 p.m. We've got a former, not NBA player, but a former Wildcat player coming on next week. He was supposed to be on yesterday, but had some family issues come up. But it's Cameron Mills. He's a 2-time. Well, actually, in 3 of his 4 years in the NCAA playing for Kentucky, he played in the Final Four, got 2 rings. So it's pretty cool to have him come on the show. He's actually going to be at our church tomorrow to do a men's conference. So it's kind of cool. Like Cameron Mills, a former Kentucky player, is kind of one of my friends now. It's really crazy what the podcast can do for that. He called me yesterday. We talked for about 30 minutes just about things going on. I'm like, man, it's fine. It's okay that you got to miss our episode. We could do it next week. So pretty cool with that. But other than that, guys, hey, keep watching the playoffs. Can't wait to talk to you all next week. Probably Thursday. I think Thursday's kind of become our day for the podcast, to be honest with you. I like it too. It gives us time to recap what went on instead of kind of the whole week like we were doing when we first started on Sunday and then we went to Tuesday. It's kind of hard to recap on Tuesday. It's just been 1 or 2 days. But glad Tayshaun Prince is on the camera here, another former Kentucky player who was in the front office with the Grizzlies as they're up 82-60. Looks like they're still going to hold on. I don't see Ja coming back in, so we'll keep that updated throughout the week here too. But until next time, guys, we thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you all soon.
See you guys next week.